Hi, I'm Stephanie Toman, and this is another video for the word skills beyond the basics, and it's looking at tables. So if there's anything in the tables that you would like to find out, then some of these may help. So we've got the usual how to manipulate a table and format it, simultaneous sorts, which means more than one sort, converting tables to text and then back again, the other way around, using simple formula calculations within Word in a table, and then some things that you can do with table properties with regards to keeping the cells and the table in line when you're doing long documents, etc., automatically.
Simultaneous sorting, they call it in Word, which is more than one item being sought, one criteria. Calculations in tables and table properties. Okay, so if we open up table styles nice and easy. Let's just have a look at tables generally though before we start. So it says about what they are. I think we know that. The beauty of them is that, for example, in CVs and things, you can space everything out beautifully, hide the table with no borders, and it looks like you've been really clever with tabbing, etc. So a great little tool for the back end, if you like. With regard to the exam, there's the usual things. So you've got the merge and split. So obviously on the right, we just highlight, you've got the little black arrow that highlights within, so you can merge a cell. And then you can right click and you can split a cell. And it asks you what you want to split it to. You can highlight the whole row or the column, just like you do in any normal table, and do whatever it is you wish to do. The final bit of this is about the table styles. We highlight the whole of this table, and then the design tab up here on the table tools, you will have some table styles. In the exam, you'll be asked to use particular ones. They'll have names, so you can see that's grid. Just hover on this one. Grid table 3, accent 1, grid table 3, accent 2, and you can see there's a theme going on here. So if you go onto this one, grid table 5, dark, accent 1, accent 2. So they're quite easy to find. There's quite a lot of them. If we apply one, remember you can go back in there, and to clear it, you just click on there and it goes back to the way it was. If you wanted your borders back on, then you can go and do your border styles. Okay, so that's nothing else to that. It's quite straightforward, and that's just a simple table styles area. So we're just going to close this. The next one's converting table to text, so let's open that one up. And this one, you're going to highlight the area. Most text, before it's converted to a table, has to have commas, tabs, or paragraph marks to separate it. Remember the tool we used before, the show and hide, if you were with me on some of the other things. Let's bring that up a little bit. And you can see this one's got tabs. So tabs separating the data. So I've highlighted it, go into Insert tab, drop down on Table, and there's your Convert Text to Table feature there. If you hover on it, it'll tell you what it does. Remember in the exam, you can click around a little bit, you can hover on things, you can check what it does, but get to know where things are as much as you can so that you save some time. So Convert Text to Table, got the right number of columns and rows if you've highlighted it correctly, and it's automatically gone onto tabs. So we can OK, and then it's done. Once it's become a table, to convert it back, it's already highlighted. We've got it on the highlight, and you can see that you've got these table tools again. Go on to the layout one, and you've got convert to text. So you can go the other way. So notice when you click on that, it comes up on tabs automatically, and that's the way we want it. And then if we do the show and hide, you can see those tabs are there. So really straightforward. Converting, when you're converting and highlighting text, you'll be doing it through the insert table route. When it's already been converted, then you're going through the design layout route. Okay, so close that one. The next one's sorting. So they talk about simultaneous sorting in Word, Advanced Word, and it means sorting more than one item. We've done sorting before, you know, normally you click on the surname and you do a sort. There you go, by surname. So sort a surname by surname is looks pretty obvious. But you can see what's happened by doing that. I've actually included my total row, which I don't want to do on a sort. So let's do things a little bit more professionally and precisely, and let's also do more than one. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. This is the holiday chart. Be careful in the exam because sometimes I'll put tables on top of tables. So make sure if you do all this hard work that you're doing it to the right table. So this is the table we're going to use. It talks about, there's 19 rows and it's talking about sorting rows 2 to 17. Well, I've got 2 there, it's pretty obvious. I'm not going to count them because I know it's not going to expect me to involve a total row, a calculation row. It could be budget total, grand total, whatever you want to call it. But it's not going to include that. So if I highlight from row 2 down to there, and I go into the layout tab and the sort, another way of getting there, notice how it comes up with column 1 and then 2, 3, 4. So if I was asked in the exam to sort by surname ascending and then by department, so I'd have to go column 1, column 2, column 3, and that one's descending, and then it wants days holiday 1, 2, 3, 4, and then wants that ascending. So I'd be doing it like that. And notice there's nothing about header rows. So if I just cancel that a minute, that's absolutely correct. Let's just OK it. So you can see that I've done the job. I'm just going to undo. Let's look at another way of doing it. Let's include the headings, but not the total row at the bottom. Back in and sort, and notice this time, because I've included the heading rows and it says it knows I've got header rows, it won't incorporate them in the sort, then we can still see them. And it comes up beautifully like this, nice and easy. Don't need to see what's going on the top. OK, and it does the job. So remember, simultaneous sorts, you need to make sure that you can use the headers, the header rows, not a problem. Never include a calculation row at the bottom. Don't worry about counting them because that's what it's going to be. And then go in and do your sort and take your time. Make sure you do your ascending where it's appropriate and descending where it's appropriate, and then OK. Remember, it will look a little bit skewed because it's doing it by priority, the first sort, second sort, and then the last. Okay, so that's simultaneous sorting, nice and easy, nothing too much to worry about. Takes on to calculations tables, number 4. So this is where we can use simple calculations within tables in Word. So it's not using Excel, there's lots of oomph there if you want to read it. Basically, we don't use the equal signs, we don't use the cell letters and numbers. We just use a little calculation feature that we can change and adapt to a certain extent. If we were going to put a calculation in here, let's delete that. Let's go to the layout tab and there's our formula feature. So it's add a formula to a cell to perform a simple calculation such as average, sum, counted, count, probably just count actually. Don't think it's 2, we'll have a look. And let's pop in there. This is the different functions that it does. It does do an if, quite a few bits in there actually. People don't use all of it, but it's there. Okay, it comes up with sum automatically. Notice that it uses brackets above, or it could be brackets right, brackets left, brackets below. And it always sort of assumes that I'm going to do what I'm going to do by where I'm placing it. And it's assumed we're doing above. So I'm quite happy to do above. OK there. And that has gone in there. Click on it and it turns grey. Click on that one, it turns grey. Click on that one, it's grey. Click on that, no. So you can see that these grey areas are fields. That's how you know something's a field. And if you right click on them, you will see that they are fields. If you right click on a normal number, you'll get a different pop-up. So if they're fields and the calculations, let's change some figures. So change that, update the field, let's see what it does, and it adds them all up. Great. However, let's say we want to change the way it looks. Okay, let's say we want to make this into euros because it is in euros. So let's that one's fine for that number, but this one, let's change it because it's in pounds, isn't it? We need it in euros. So let's do a right click on there and edit the field this time, not update. So it takes us into a formula button. takes us back to where we were. You can see this one's been done with hashtags and a pound sign, and it's doing above. So if we drop that down, we will always stick to the hash areas because it's inputting data. People are inputting data. So you can either have a whole number or decimal places, but we're not going to use the pound. Click on there. Due to these exams being created by Ireland, Southern Ireland, who are in the European Union still, we're going to be putting a euro in here. So we click in front of the hash nice and gently. If you can't get in, you can always move across with your arrow keys. And you're going to use the Alt Great and the number 4 key. People use Control, Alt and 4. There's lots of other ways to do it as well. As long as you get the euro in there, we're quite happy with that. And you can see that it's changed it. We could change the figures. Right click, update and change the figures. Notice down here, there's such thing as locking and unlocking a field. So if a field's locked, let's just see what it's like. So we know that it updated. Let's lock it. So you can see it's unlocked. So if we click on it and use Control F11, we're locking it. Right click on it, it's grayed out. If we're unlocking it, you can guess what it is. As I've just said, Control Shift F11. And now it will update, so it is unlocked. So if it's locked, let's say you came here and it was locked, Control Shift 11, and the exam said change some figures and update the edited field or calculation for total euros with at euro sign. You went to do that and it won't update, then you need to unlock it, Control Shift F11, unlock, do the job by updating it, and then it may ask you to lock it again. So Control Shift is unlock, Control F11 is lock. So just remember, unlocking, you're popping a shift in there, otherwise you're using the Control and F11. Okay, so some good things that you can do, and they're quite useful as long as they're simple and in a Word document. So that's tables calculations. Let's not save. Table properties, this one here. Okay, there's two features here, and I'm going to mention cell margins as well a little bit, just to introduce you to those. So these two features are to do the table properties of repeating as header row across each page. In other words, the headings that you get on a table that you're printing, these, they will automatically print out on each page so that those people that are looking at your report or documents, they don't need to keep running to the first page to see which data fits with what heading. So those headings will automatically be printed. The second option is to not allow rows to break across the page. So in a dissertation or a long document or a report, it's not good practice to see tables breaking across a page with big gaps. So obviously tables can go across a page, can have one part of the table there and one part there, but not the cell broken. That's the same cell as that across the page. So these are automatic features we can apply to the document, and then when you're doing your dissertation, it's something you don't have to worry about. You can just assume that it's doing it for you. So the first one is about, as it says, highlighting the first row only. And the problem is that most people will see the question, they're both together, the features are also together in the same place, and they will highlight the whole table and do them both together. Well, you can't do that. You must highlight the row 1 only, the first row only, to do the first one. So right click, let's try again, table properties, into the row, and you're going to click on the repeat as header row at the top of each page. Okay, don't see it on the screen, but if you print it, you will see it. If we're going to do the other one about not allowing it to break across the page, we're going to right click and highlight at the same time, right in the corner, table properties, and we're not going to allow the table to break across the page. And if we OK, what should happen is that's moved down to here so that it stays in one place and not split. The other thing to look at are the cell we look at the cell margins. So if we go into a cell and right click table properties, in the cell area under the options, they have this feature. In the diagnostic test, you'll get an example of this. And what it is if they want you to just do a particular row, like the top row, so if I just cancel that and go out, we just want the top row, and then I go into table properties and into cell tab options. If I take that out, I can make the top row 1.2. If that's on, then it's all going to be 1.2. Okay, so make sure that you leave that off. You're just applying it to that. And OK, and OK. And then you can see I'm just doing something that's like a bit exaggerated. So if you're going into table properties, into cell alignment, you've got that option there. Make sure that if it's the whole table, tick it on. If not, just leave it like that. And I think if we just come out of here and we go into layout, there's a cell option there. That's another way of going in and another way of getting to that area there. So just be aware of it, that you have to drill down again into options